What's up, my PT peeps? Brian back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 7 premiere discussion. Spoilers ahead about the premiere, Season 7, Episode 1. If you don't want to know, stop watching now. But basically, we're going to talk about Negan blames who for killing Glenn. And if you've seen the premiere, you what do you feel about it? Do you feel like Negan is to blame? Who's to blame on there too? Because I believe Glenn's death didn't really need to happen. But we'll talk about that in a second. Comicbook.com article, we'll put the link in the description to check it out. So basically, after waiting 6 excruciating long months in the Walking Dead season premiere, we finally found out who Negan initially killed with Lucille. But before delivering his first vicious blow atop Abraham's gingered head, Negan made it very clear how Rick and his group could react during and after the hellish punishment. And it makes sense for Negan to pick Abraham. You know, Abraham could be a threat. He definitely was he rose to the occasion, so Negan's like, all right, you're going to rise up, I'm going to knock you down. So that's what he did. He picked Abe, and, it made sense. So it sucked. Don't get me wrong. Abe, one of my favorite characters, going to miss him, and Glenn. But, after that, it was Negan being a bully to Rosita and whatever, and then you're like, what the hell, So, however, once Negan was done turning Abraham's head into scrambled eggs, he took delight in taunting Rick and Rosita, who he quickly suspected was intimate with the recently departed, by sticking his dirty girl, Lucille, in their faces, forcing them to look upon the bat covered in Abraham's blood, which is gross, which was kind of over the top. It was a little too much what Negan was trying to do. I mean, I understand he had to kill someone here to prove to his group, to run fear, to get the Rick survivors to work for him, to turn it around, to say, look, I'll kill you all right now, but I need you to work for me on that. So he was bullying Rosita in the group there too. He had the upper hand. He was rubbing it in their face, and he was going to say, look at this. No, look at it. So, overcome with emotion, Daryl got up off the ground and punched Negan in the face. And since Daryl broke the rules, and because Negan is a man of his word, he punished Daryl by picking his second victim to beat to death with Lucille. He quickly chose Glenn, smashed his head so hard that the eye popped out, and bring a final message to the love of his life, Maggie, I will find you. Which was really tough. That was really tough to watch on there too, And Maggie, I will find you means he will find you in the next life, or whenever he can, to be there too, because they are soulmates on there. So Daryl getting up, breaking the rules again. Glenn already got out of line, so maybe that's why I picked Glenn, because he was the first one to do it or whatever. But Daryl doing it a second time, overcome with emotion, just punches him and takes it out. So that's a problem. Of course, some would want to blame Glenn's death on Negan, since he was the one that clubbed Glenn's head into a million pieces, but Daryl clearly broke the rules. Simple enough, Glenn's death is on Daryl. During Sunday's Talking Dead, Jeffrey Dean Morgan echoed that opinion. If it wasn't for Daryl, Glenn would still be alive. And, that's a simple fact, because when Negan says red, and he will forever be red, took it for the team for you, and 7 and 8 for the team for you. So Negan, by saying that line, says he was going to be done with killing. He took it for the team. He was the victim. Move on. Let's do it like that. But, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Negan clearly called out Daryl being the one to blame. So I don't know what else to tell you for blame the writers, blame this. But of course the writers, they're the one who put it in there. But of the characters and how it portrayed, that's just how it goes down. So Glenn could have been avoided. But what do you think? Do you blame Negan, Daryl, the writers, or someone else? We all know Glenn died in the comics, so it was highly likely that he would die on the show, right? We can't help to think, though, if Daryl didn't punch Negan, Glenn would be alive. I mean, so that's what we're thinking, there too. And trust me, we like Daryl. Don't say, oh, you're a Daryl hater, you're all this shit. No, it just, basically had to get from point A to point B. Abraham and Glenn had to die, and how are they going to do it? Clearly, Abraham was going to be the victim, and then how are they going to do Glenn? Glenn was going to be the comic book death. That's what happens. He's the iconic comic book death. They changed things for the show and whatever, and they mixed it up, but also they came around the bend with the two victims, which weren't going to be in the storyline going forward. So I thought these pictures are great from Greg Nicotero. He shows Stephen Yeun, getting the makeup and the prosthetics and everything like that too. It's freaking amazing. They do an amazing job with it too. I mean, the molds and everything like that. It's just freaking amazing, the detail of it. And that's part of why we love the show. But Stephen Yeun is having too much fun looking like this though too. I mean, it's kind of funny to look at. It's terrible to watch in the show, but he's having a good time with it on there. It's pretty funny when he's breaking it down there. But, Glenn, Rhee, the fans love him. The cast love him. I mean, how do you not love Glenn? I mean, myself, blame or not, who cares? Glenn is gone, and it's going to suck. This will never happen. The Glenn baby should be born. I'm really hoping that the baby boy is born. Glenn is not going to make it, however, though. His time is up. And it's a shame, because they could have changed it a little bit for the show on there, but they decided to go the same way of the comics. And, I remember watching season 1, and look how young they are. Glenn's got the comic book hat and the style on there too. Andrew Lincoln and Stephen Young look babies there too. Season 1, season 7, just look at the difference on there as well. He's escaped death so many times. It's just been crazy how he is, but unfortunately he has to go out this way. I just love the face here of him with this in season 1 when they're going with the guts and the rain and the walkers start coming after him there too. He's part of the Well Walker, one of the most iconic walkers that I know and think of when think of The Walking Dead, the Well Walker with Glenn in there too. Had the love interest, Maggie, Lauren Cohan or whatever, who's a sweetheart, awesome person, Glenn, gonna miss you, that's for damn sure. What's your favorite Glenn moment? Are any of these it? Are none of them it? On there too, was it something we missed on there? Is funny, but he's hilarious, the tank thing or whatever. But you're gonna miss Abe, that's for damn sure too. But Glenn and Abe, they went out together, and it's a shame. They'll forever be linked as the Lucille victims. When he punched Aiden, that was great in season 5. Just love that. The whole dumpster fiasco. Is he alive? Is he dead on there? He can go out that way, that's for damn sure. And he went out in a freaking eye-popping crazy way. You thought he was going to die here. Abraham and Sasha saved him. But, so many people, so many things love Glenn, and I'm one of those people too. Stephen Young's a great guy, and they're going to be missed for sure. And, it's a shame Maggie's got to carry on without her husband and other family members, of course. She's, it's tough. Maggie Green's had it rough on there too, but we love Glenn Ray, Abraham Ford. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome for everything there too. Rest in peace, Glenn. Who's to blame? Who cares? Doesn't really matter either way, but like, share, subscribe to get more videos, guys. You guys are awesome, and thank you for watching.